Hello, ladies and gentlemen. A viewer requested commented on one of my videos, and he said, "John, can you please do white chicken enchiladas?" Well, that sounded inspiring, so I thank you for the suggestion. So I went out, looked at a few recipes, and you know what? I like to change things up a little bit, so we are going to make what I think is a unique chicken enchilada casserole, and I might just call this the $1,000,000 chicken enchilada casserole. What do y'all think about that? Let me know after you watch this recipe we put together. My oven is preheating to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. So the first thing I want to do is start getting my chicken ready. So I got my skillet on here. We'll go medium high. Put a splash of oil in there. Gosh, I always overdo that oil. I need to get one of those little shakers. Press start. I might get some of that oil out of there. You really only want about a tablespoon of oil in there. That's better. Alright, so a tablespoon of oil. Let that heat up a minute. What I got here is one onion that I diced up. So one diced onion going in. We'll just let those onions saute away. So in a mixing bowl, I'm going to put 1 cup of sour cream and 1 can of green chili enchilada sauce. Now this is a 28-ounce can, and I have the Las Palmas green chili enchilada sauce. And let's just get that all mixed up. Oh yeah, that looks good. Put that off to the side. And what I did was I grated up 8 ounces of pepper jack cheese. That sounds good. And that's one of my deviations. I use pepper jack. Alright. Those have sauteed for a couple minutes, starting to get translucent. Now what I have here is 2 cups of shredded chicken. This is shredded chicken I made myself. Feel welcome to use, what do you call it? Rotisserie chicken or whatever. But I just think it's more economical for me to buy a bunch of chicken when it's on sale, and I just cook it up in my slow cooker and then freeze it in 2-cup portions. Then whenever I want shredded chicken from one of my recipes, I got it. Alright, get that all kind of broken up. And 1 pouch of taco seasoning. And we'll add just about 1/4 cup of water in there. If you got 3 cups of chicken, you might want to use 3 cups, but I'm making 2 of these casseroles today so we can freeze dry. So I'm going to do this recipe, and then off camera I'm going to make another one. And I did not have enough for 3 cups, so I thought I'd try 2 cups, and it looks about right. You could maybe use a little more chicken in there. Alright, we'll turn the heat off on that and set that aside. And would you believe we're ready to put this thing together? Alright, so I got a 9x13 casserole dish here. I'm just going to put a gentle spray of non-stick on there. Chicken enchiladas are normally served with a side of Mexican rice. So I'm going to try something different. Here's some of my Mexican rice that I prepared earlier. And if you want to see the recipe for this, that's my last week's video. So check out last week's video. It's very simple to do in your Instapot or Ninja Foodie. I have the Foodie. We solved a problem on this, by the way, when we were making it. So I'd encourage you to check out that video and just see what we solved. I can't make you go look without telling you what you're going to look for. First batch I made of this Mexican rice, it tasted good, looked good, except for when I fluffed it up, it all burnt at the bottom. And that's a pretty common problem with the pressure cooked rice. So I did some research. We solved on how to make that rice not brown or burn actually to the bottom of your Foodie or Instapot. And I'd encourage you to just go check that out and see how we solved that. Quite proud of myself. Alright, so we got a nice bed of that rice in there. So let's take a scoop of our enchilada sauce and just kind of spread it on that. Alright. Now, normally here's where you would layer your tortillas on there, but I gotta try something different. My million peso chicken enchiladas are gonna use Doritos. And I got the Spicy Nacho Doritos. I thought, you know what? Those would be pretty good on there. So I'm just gonna gently crush those. Put a nice little bed of nachos on there. What do you think about that? Oh yeah, that's gonna be good. And we'll put about half of our chicken on there. Alright, definitely could have used more chicken. And my grated pepper jack, we're going to put half of that on there. And we'll take our enchilada sauce and put half of that on there. Oh yeah, my mouth's watering thinking about this. Another layer of Doritos. Put the rest of our chicken on there. Just like after that, I'm going to give that a little press down. Try and make room for more. One more layer of cheese on there. And sauce. Alright, let's put the rest of our sauce on there. Alright. And the last of our cheese. You think it's going to be good? I do. Alright. I'm going to set this aside and make up one more. And then pop both of these in the oven, so I'll come back for that. Okay, got my second one done. That was quick going. So I just want to reiterate, I doubled up everything in this recipe to make my second one, except for my Mexican rice. What I did there was I cooked up a full load of that Mexican rice that I mentioned in the video earlier that you can see. I'll pin it to the comment section below. But that I only used a half of a pot of that in each of these casseroles for, so I just divided it in two. So these casserole dishes are pretty full. So I'm going to make sure that I have a cookie sheet, baking sheet underneath these in case they bubble over. I got my oven preheated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. We're going to pop these in the oven for about 25 to 30 minutes. We'll keep an eye on it. We want it bubbly, nice and bubbly, and all that cheese on the top melted. So I'm going to pop these in the oven. I'll see you in about 25-30 minutes. All right, there we go. Bubbling away on the edges. I think we're done here. It looks delicious. That pepper jack kind of puts a pretty coloring on the top there. So I'm going to let this cool down quite a bit before we dish it out. We'll make up a nice thumbnail maybe with it. I don't know. We'll cut a piece out and then we'll tray up the rest and get it ready for the freeze dryer. I'll see you once this becomes manageable in the heat. Let it cool down a bit and then it should cut nicely. See you then. Alright, let's cut into this. How does that look? Does that look delicious or what? I'm going to reposition my camera and I'm going to have a taste of this. Let's see what it tastes like. Oh man, that is good. That is very good. Ooh-wee, you guys are going to like this. Now, I cooked this in the oven. I ended up going 40 minutes to get that nice golden brown on the top there at 350. But man, it's delicious. Definitely a million peso chicken enchilada dish. Let me tell you, I am tickled to death with this. Oh yeah. Well, let me get all prepped up and we'll get this trayed up for the freeze dryer. All right. So we're going to shoot for 2.5 pounds per tray. Look at that. Layers of chicken, Doritos, some rice. What more could you ask for in a casserole? This is absolutely gorgeous. All right, there's 2.5 pounds. I got 2 more trays to do and I'll be right back. All right, there's my 3 trays and 2.5 pounds each. We'll get those totally cooled down here then transfer them to my freezer, get them frozen solid, and once they're frozen solid, we'll fire up the freeze dryer, get them in there, and next time you see those, they'll be coming out of the freeze dryer. Now the great news is, I made 2 of those dishes and I ended up with this much left over, which is great for me. And I'm going to finish off this test batch. I just reheated in the microwave real quick because the time it cooled down by the time I finished traying that up. This is definitely a million peso chicken enchiladas. This is absolutely gorgeous. The rice really adds something to it, I think, which is the way it's served anyway, with rice on the side. That pepper jack cheese and the nacho, spicy nachos, just put an undertone of heat to it. Not overpowering, but very nice. I am super happy with this. I'm curious what you guys think. I'm curious if you guys are going to try this. Well, next time you see those, they'll be coming out, and let's hope that they rehydrate as well as they do taste fresh. Does that make sense? Now, let's hope they rehydrate well and taste as good rehydrated as they do fresh. John, you're all tongue-tied. All right, I'll see you when those come out of the freeze dryer. Yum. Alrighty, we are ready to go with what we calling this? We're calling this the Million Peso Chicken Enchiladas by John and Bibbs. And these were my standard 40 hours that I put in the freezer. I just run everything 40 hours. So we like to package these. Three squares per pouch, which makes a very nice meal for me. Now, as I put these in, I give them a gentle crumble. Set those off to the side, and I'll press on. I'll be back in a minute. Alright, got those bagged up. Let's get our O2 absorbers in there. 300cc O2 absorbers. One per pouch. Go ahead and zip that shut. Back. Alright, we got each pouch now has a 300cc O2 absorber in there, and it's Ziploc shut. Let's put our heat seal on them. Just like that. I'll get these done and I'll be right back. And there we go. They are all sealed up. Turn that off. Unplug that. Alright, so there we have our Million Peso Chicken Enchiladas. I will leave these sit out for a couple days just to make sure they stay sealed and nice and everything. Then we'll put them away for long-term storage. Later in the week sometime we'll come back and I'll open one of these up and we'll have it for lunch one day. And I'm really looking forward to that. I'm dying to see if this comes back and tastes as good rehydrated as it did fresh. Because it was delicious fresh. Alright, so I'll see you for the taste test. Alright, are you guys ready for my lunch? We are going to have some Million Peso Chicken Enchiladas. Now, I've actually been a couple of weeks since I packaged this. So, let's get it open and refresh my memory on how great this tasted fresh. This tasted delicious fresh. Let's see how it does rehydrated. Alright, take out my O2 absorber. There we go. Got that in the bag. 3 squares, 3/4 of a cup. That's what I always go with to start out with. All right, there we go. Squeeze a little air out of that. Zip it shut. Let that sit for 2 minutes. I'll be back in 2 minutes. All right, there we go. Got 2 minutes. Now we can open it up. Oh man, that looks good. Give that a quick stir. Another seal. And 2 more minutes. See you then. Oh yeah. Let's get her going. So we did a total of 4 minutes. 1 more stir. Now the disadvantage of freeze drying is when we had that fresh, we had those nice layers. And obviously you're not going to get those layers when you reconstitute from freeze dried, but you're going to get all that flavor. There we go. Look at that. Does that look good? You know it does. Oh yeah. So let's do a taste test. So we had Mexican rice, shredded chicken, onions, salsa sauce, actually a green chili enchilada sauce, and spicy Doritos. And the Mexican rice had black beans in it. Oh man. That is absolutely gorgeous. I am happy with that. Oh yeah. Packed full of flavor there. That authentic Mexican flavor. This is gorgeous. Well, let's see. The viewer that requested I do a chicken enchilada, they asked it for a white, so I'm sorry we varied that a little bit, but I'd like to thank Jago4673 for asking me to do chicken enchiladas, because I would have never thought of it, and these came out gorgeous. So thank you very much. A hat tip to you. And I hope you guys try this. This is gorgeous. Another great success. We put a John and Bibb spin to it with the Doritos and stuff. So, and the Mexican rice. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope some of you go out there and try some of it. I love to get feedback from people who try the videos and let me know what you think of the product. So let me know in the comments below what you think of this recipe and product. Both fresh, because you don't have to freeze dry it, or freeze dry it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.